Hello, everyone. We'll wait till Emmanuel gets in here. Listen to the chirping birds in the background. Oh, there he is. Hey.
Hey,
Emmanuel,
how are you,
how
sir?
are you?
How's it going?
Good, good. Let me get this set up so I can hear you. All right. Make sure I'm on the right Wi-Fi out here. I have no idea which Wi-Fi I'm on. But,
Let me get you a little louder on the volume.
yeah. All right. Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Okay, awesome.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you, Pete?
Very well. It's a good day today.
It can be a good day every day.
I meant with the sun actually coming out.
No, I know. I know you did.
Yeah, yeah. It's seen a lot more birds lately around here. I don't know what's going on, but I think all the babies are coming out of the nest, and the parents are showing them how to eat, and you could tell, they're just regurgitating food down each other's throats. It's kind of gross, but
Well, that's how birds go about it.
it's sort of what comes with the territory,
That's it.
right? um, so I sent you a kind of the format for three. So just for everyone, I'm Pete, founder of North Shore Nosh and some other Nosh entities. We promote Eat, Drink, Savor. Part of our regular programming is kind of a more wine education, wine enjoyment. And to help guide us through this, I have Emmanuel Montevecchi from Total Wine. He's my wine guy. He picks two wines that we're going to talk about a little bit later on in the program. And he is going to guide us through why he picked them, what he wants us to kind of focus on. And we have a couple of other things we're going to chat about. So basically the format is this. I have kind of three things we talk about. And then we go off in tangents as we usually do. But we have Q&A. So please, we promote that. I'm happy to help guide you in your quest for greater wine knowledge. So we've titled this program Summer Whites and Wines, Summer White Wines. I was kind of thinking of besides the ones that you suggested, which was the Sauvignon Blanc kind of blends here. There's quite a few. I mean, I could rattle off a few, but kind of my new favorites lately have been Suave, of course, Group Austria, Peak Pull, which most people haven't tried. It's kind of zingy. It's pretty interesting, but and Verdejo or Vermentino. And if people don't know this, but Fumé Blanc is basically Sauvignon Blanc. But is there any other ones that I kind of missed, or do I have it covered?
Let's see. Did you say? I know it's a favorite of yours, Albarino. Did you mention Albarino? I can't. The audio is a little mixed up.
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't mention Albarino. I
Okay.
didn't want to rattle off every of them, but that's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot, for sure. Albarino is a favorite of mine. That's why.
Well, yeah, I like Albarino too. And the other thing too is I know we're going to talk about the Sauvignon Blanc we got is from France, but New Zealand has some pretty good Sauvignon Blancs, and I think they're really kind of known for that, right?
Correct. Absolutely. They are known
Yeah.
for that. They are.
And I think the appellation, I don't know what they particularly call it, but it's Marlborough. I think is their main one, Sauvignon Blancs. If I have that right.
Yes. Yeah,
There you
absolutely.
go.
Sauvignon. Yeah.
I can see you now. So
Yeah, I was having a little bit of I had to tweak it a little bit.
yeah, it's live TV. What do you want? So
Yeah,
okay,
anything goes. Anything goes.
yep. So it seems like if you try to characterize summer white wines, I mean, it really covers a big spectrum of white and basically a big spectrum of wines. We haven't even talked about champagne. Everybody likes a little champagne, out on the patio or maybe by a pool and just having a couple little nosh little treats with it. But it covers quite a big ground here.
Absolutely.
And and as we've talked about before, it's just not necessarily champagne, but it could be cava. It could be all the Cremonts.
Yeah.
It could be prosecco. There's so much other sparkling wine out there besides champagne, which is really good and cheap. Wine value. um, so let's talk a little bit. We're going to shift more. Let's talk about the grapes that are in our wines today. Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon. And I have a few notes, but I'll let you kind of run with this and give me some highlights for our fans here and what we're talking about.
All right. So let's see. Let's start from the one I have on my left here. It's this here.
Yep.
This is the Rothschild Lafite.
Yep.
This is as Pete said, it's the Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon grapes. 55% Sauvignon Blanc, and then it would be the 45% Semillon. This particular vineyard is highly recognized, in the wine world, mainly for their Bordeaux, particularly their red Bordeaux. But obviously, we're mixing it up with white wines these days. So I have this one, as well as this one here. It has a very unique label, as we can see.
Yeah, very interesting label.
And it was very interesting to me. It kind of caught my eye right away when I saw this. When I saw the case actually come into the shop.
It's got that liaison name, and it's got basically two women on the label, kind of one of them whispering to another in her ear. You don't know what she's saying, but it's kind of mysterious.
So this here is from the vineyard, the Du Pordoux, the Denis Du Pordoux. And I know my French is, I kind of been working, I was having fun earlier trying to work on the name because I wanted to pronounce it correctly, and I think I was over analyzing it. But this gentleman is recognized as the professor of the French wine world. Some people recognize him. He did a lot of consulting for a lot of the major producers out of France. You have, Mouton, Rothschild. You have some of the Haute Maddox that come out of the Bordeaux region. So he passed away several years ago, but he was a professor actually at the University of Bordeaux. Denis Du Pordoux. So these are two big-time producers coming out of France. You have the Lafite Rothschild family, and then you have the Pordoux wine family as well. The Rothschilds were big into actually banking, which I'm sure you knew that anyway, Pete. Come from a banking family.
Yes, I did. Well, a lot of people don't know there's many Rothschilds around.
That's right.
And the difference between this is the Baron Rothschild, and then there's the Chateau Lafite Rothschild. The Baron is more of a kind of an offshoot of the Chateau. The Chateaus are those really awesome, reds, really. But the Baron, I think they created kind of the Baron. I think is different members of the family, obviously, but the Baron is really more about creating kind of an entree way, and maybe in a Rothschild, but more about like creating a different revenue stream for them, of creating wonderful whites to have with obviously their label on it, but at least whites with their various vineyard holdings, all across Bordeaux, from what I understand. And they've been around since the 1860s, I think, is from what I understand. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Centuries now, you know.
yep.
And
And
yeah, go ahead, Pete.
and then just a note on Denis. You're right. He did pass away, I think, in 2016. I think his wife Florence, and then I think the wine that you've picked out, his son made this wine, and I think his son's name is Jean-Jacques, and I think he has a sister
Yep.
named Fabrice. Um, and they're located, I think, in Barsac, which is down at the edge of the Sarterne, and then Rothschild. I think they sourced these grapes for this white from the Entre-deux-Mers, which is kind of further east, but it's definitely inland.
Hmm.
So you can see why their whites would be pretty good. So
Oh yes.
yeah, yeah,
So the last one there that I mentioned with the interesting label, this one is, I believe, yeah, it's a 50-50 Simeon Sauvignon Blanc.
yep,
So I
yep,
tried to get the wines as close in ratio as I could.
yep,
Because as I said, the previous one is 55 Sauvignon Blanc and 45 Simeon.
yep. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And are we doing a blind, or we just picking the one that you want to drink first? How about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's for sure. We can, yeah. Uh, so I'm looking at the Barons de Rothschild. I'm looking at that one
All
first.
right. Let me look at mine. Yep. Okay. Here we go. Beautiful color.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, looks more of a kind of a straw. I guess is probably how you'd say it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, absolutely. For straw, yeah, yeah.
Yep. And I'm gonna do my little swirling. Swirl 'em like I did last time. Uh, keep swirling, swirling, swirling. See, I got it down now. Here we go. All right. Hmm. Like a uh, like a wax, almost like a. Oh, I smell like grapefruit. I'm getting a little
Yeah,
grape.
it's light. It's very light. I get like a
Yeah.
waxy sort of, definitely waxy. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
um.
Beeswax. See, I just spilled.
Mhm.
There we go. Hey, it's live, people. There we go. All right. Make a fool out of myself here, but yeah, I'm getting the wax. Oh, big time. I'm getting more of a floral, like some sort of floral on the top nose. So for people who haven't seen this show before, I always talk to when you sniff, you smell wine, smell at the bottom, and then smell at the top, and then smell as you're approaching it. You're going to get a lot of different aromas when you do that, and it's actually going to really increase your enjoyment of wine because you'll be like, "How do they get it to smell like this? This is amazing." Um, yeah, I'm getting the. Oh, I'm definitely getting that wax on the bottom.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm getting that. And I think
Oh yeah,
I think it's typical though of Sauvignon Blancs too to get some of that. If I'm sure most people here, if anyone's, if you're the listeners out there, or people in this area,
hmm,
they know a Sauvignon Blanc, from New Zealand. You
yeah.
you get that a lot. You get that a lot.
I can't pick out the flower, but it's definitely a flower on the top, and then wax on the bottom. So kind of that a flower wax thing. Interesting how that smell like that. I don't know about
Yeah.
the fruit.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's approachable, but it's not. Let's see. That's when you're ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah, low, very light body. Um, I mean, I'm not tasting any acidity at all, really. It's very, very mild in terms of that. It's kind of there, but yeah, I'm getting more acidity now. But
Okay.
I think from what I read is that they balance the acidity with Sauvignon Blanc with the Semillon grape because that grape is a lower acidity than the Sauvignon Blanc. Um,
Right. So that's the piece here with the blend. You know, the Semillon is low acidity, as you're saying. Sauvignon Blanc
yeah,
will be the higher acidity, and then it gets the Semillon kind of gets a little structure from the Sauvignon Blanc. That's what goes
Mhm.
on. You know,
Yeah,
these blends I think are really nice. They can be refreshing, but they're typically light.
yeah,
Let's still go on this one on the Baron Rothschild.
yep. Mm. They've taken the fruit out of this though. Almost like a lemony
Not a lot.
acidity. Huh?
Yeah, I get a little lemony.
A little lemony, you know. Um,
Oh, for sure.
I mean, you're smelling the fruit. I mean, I might smell grapefruit on the top end of this, but mostly a flower thing. Wish I could name the flower, but anyway.
Yeah, I think it's described as just like a white flower. I can't get too specific, like a white flower. You know, more specific than that, I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's very approachable, I think. You know, and
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's a
the
nice
air.
wine. I think this would really be really good if it was like it was really hot outside. I think it'd be more refreshing. I think with that acidic tang to it.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
concur with that for sure.
let me try it with some cheese here. I actually got cheese this time, some cheddar. So
Ooh, there you go.
or some blue cheese too. Not everybody likes blue cheese. Big surprise.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
it's a little off-putting for some.
I think it's the mold,
Is that what it is?
the controlled mold. Yeah, the
Yeah.
controlled blue mold. Mm. Actually, it goes well with the cheese. I actually like it better with the cheese instead of a standalone. Um,
Yeah, I
very
think
good.
it's a benefit because it's not a I wouldn't it's not dynamic wine. You know,
Yeah,
it's light. It has a little bit of fruit to offer. It's minimal at best, but
yeah,
it's refreshing. That's the best way I can put it.
yeah.
You
Got it.
know,
Yeah, um,
the complexity is really non-existent.
yeah. Interesting. That's an interesting one. All right, ready to move on to our next contender here. All
Absolutely.
right, all
So,
right. Well, cleaning my palate with the cracker. Okay, so
okay,
don't worry, I'm not eating dinner. Um,
I'll do the same. Okay.
okay. All right.
All right. So let's pull this
Now,
out again. Once again, I
yeah,
mean, most people that would be, as I said, you know, visually interesting to people. You
yep,
know, it definitely, you
yep.
know, it's unique label. It might attract people just by the label. I
I
think
think
this
it's
wine. Go ahead.
yeah. I like it. I agree with you. I think this label is it's quite exquisite. I mean, you know, when we talk about marketing and people just buy by the label, I think they would go see this and go, "Wow, let's see what's so mysterious about this wine." So, what's the liaison? Okay,
Right
and
now,
so, so this
both these
color,
wines.
yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
No, sorry, Pete. Yeah, so both these wines are they're in the same price point.
Yeah,
I chose them because of that as well.
yeah,
So it's
and
across the board, you know,
yep,
uh,
yep,
as far as
and
price point.
yeah, got it. And it's 19.99, I think, for both. With the
That's
with the
right.
six pricing, I think. Yep. Okay. Uh, So we got
19.99, and yeah, and then you get the discounted price at about 17.99 for the
yeah,
double,
that's right.
the mix six.
Yeah, I had to do that. I had to get it. I had to get my $2 discount. Okay.
Hey,
Um,
you should.
so so now here we got our. This is the Du Bordeaux. Again, that's a different color. I mean, look at that. That's more of a not really a golden, but a bit. I can't describe it, but it's definitely a kind of a richer, darker color than this straw. Um,
That's it. That's right.
oh, I'm getting wax on that one too on the front. Um, swirling, swirling. See, I'm swirling, folks.
You definitely get wax, but there's something else there as well that the other one
Yeah.
doesn't have.
Oh, yeah. There's something. It's more intense on that bottom.
Oh yeah, it jumps out of the glass a little bit, you know.
Yeah. You know what? I am getting the same aroma out of this one, but this is definitely more in your face aroma. I still get that wax.
Yeah, once again, that wax.
Oh,
What the wax is what people would be used to with the Sauvignon Blanc from Australia, right?
yeah, there you go. I think that's right. I think that's right because those New Zealand ones or Australian New Zealand ones are just like this.
Absolutely.
You know. Oh, it's almost like a medicinal. Something like medicinal on the top end. I don't.
I'm gonna tell you what I think when you're ready.
Okay.
You wanna, what my talking point is on this one.
All right, you are the expert. I will let you go first.
No, I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be. I do the best I can. It's about research, people. It's about research and knowing wines, and I've had the ability to have a lot of different wines, so therefore I can
Yeah.
play compare and contrast games. But
Yeah.
it's like a lychee, like some sort of lychee coming out in that. Maybe a lime, some sort of lime. Like when you cut a lime open, what do you think?
Yeah. Like a lime zest.
Yes.
Like
It's subtle. It's subtle. At first, it was like it hit your nose. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. It's definitely a zest. Like if
Yeah.
you
Yes.
that's something like because that's a little bit more of a stronger stronger smell.
Oh, that's it for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. All right, let's try it.
Let's try it. All right, you ready, Pete? Go.
Mm. I like this.
I like it a lot. I wasn't gonna say anything. This is my favorite. I had this wine probably about 2 months ago, and I really enjoyed it. And you know me, I'm a big proponent of red wines, but this wine I thought was very, very interesting. Do you get that lychee though that I'm talking about a little bit? Lime, a little lime in there now.
I got the lime. Well, I got the lime, the lime, the zest. I think it's when we isolated that. Um, the acidity is not offensive. I think it's
balanced.
I like it. I think it's well balanced. The other ones, the acidity kind of throws it out of balance. So and all right, let me try it with the. I'm going to do the same thing. Have it with the cheese. This is cheddar cheese, a sharp cheddar.
Okay, sharp cheddar.
Yep, little Vermont Cabot.
And this is the wine. This is the wine, people. This is the one right here. Yeah.
Well, that went really well. Yep. So, folks, this is the label we're talking about. You can see it's very, very nice. De Bordeaux, a very historic family. That's very well-accomplished family in France. All right. Now, I'm going to go crazy with the blue cheese. So, we're gonna do it. This is like a food and wine tasting this time. So I got the blue cheese.
There you go.
So, all right, blue cheese is pretty in your face, offensive. Oh yeah, balanced it out nice. Very nice.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good.
I think we got one here for you, Pete. You like this one?
Yeah, I do like this one.
I
I
think you like it
do.
a lot.
It's, I think it, the New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs, they had that same upfront aggressive aroma. I don't think they're as balanced as that. I think that's pretty balanced. Now I got the Rothschild. This is Rothschild. So,
All right, so you're going back to the first one.
uh-huh.
Okay.
I'm trying to with the blue cheese. Because blue cheese got a lot going on, and this might complement or contrast it nicely here. But
All right.
oh, oh.
That's not a nice face. That's not a nice face.
No, icky, bitter face.
No dice? No dice.
No, it didn't work. I thought it would, but yeah, yeah. I think I go back to my original assessment. I think that one, that Rothschild, is probably good when it's like 85 and it's steamy hot. It's probably a little colder. I think it'll be a little more refreshing because the body's really light. I think everyone, if you really like light body wines, both of these suit that need. I think from an acidity standpoint, it's kind of up to your palate on what you would like here. But I think this Liaison from Bordeaux is very good, very balanced. The acidity, it's almost the same blend. I think it's 18 and the Rothschild are 19, so obviously different vintages, different growing seasons. I think from where I understand, I think Bordeaux, their vineyards in, well, they didn't tell you where the vineyard was for this wine, but they're in the edge of the Sartonner and near Barsac, and Rothschild's further east, different microclimate, really. I mean, it's still Bordeaux, but it's different microclimate.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. That's really good. I like that. I usually don't go for those kind of, yeah.
I mean, I think this is a great wine. You know, it only came in probably about maybe 8 months ago, something like that.
All right.
So I had my eye on it when it came in, only because, as I said, and I know we talk about branding and non-biases and that, but I saw the label. It was a little interesting, but and then I tried the wine, and it kind of, they kind of went hand in hand. Interesting label, interesting wine.
Well, it backed it up. It backed up the label.
Absolutely.
So, I mean,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say the Rothschild. I mean, that's the name, right? Rothschild, right?
Right.
I mean, they're top quality, right?
Sure.
They're like the first family of wine. We're
talking first generation growth. First generation growth when they did the classification.
Up in 1855. Yep, that's right.
1855.
Yep. Yeah. So you would see that and you go, "Oh, Rothschild. That's a no-brainer. Why not? Here, whatever money you want, I'll give it to you. I know I'm going to get great wine." Well, compared to this Bordeaux, no, I think this Bordeaux wins. I think that color doesn't bias me as much. I think really it comes down to the aroma and the taste and how balanced it is. But it does have that nice kind of golden glow. I guess is how you'd say it. But
sure. And once again, this is a 50-50 blend, the Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc, the Bordeaux. It's so it's balanced that way, and that's the Semillon needs the Sauvignon Blanc. It needs it to tighten it up, give it more body, give it more structure.
That's right. And for people who don't know that part of France, Sartonner, I can't say that. Sauterne. Yeah, the Sauterne. That's where they make dessert wine. And the Semillon is really what they use for the dessert wine. It's a kind of a very sweet wine.
That's right.
And so this way you have kind of an interesting mix here. You have a grape variety that's really used for dessert wines mixed with a Sauvignon Blanc, which has got higher acidity, different kind of, fruit characteristics. Very well. I mean, I think that this blend is excellent. I wonder if I know when we get later on, but we can start tinkering with the blends. I would love to see what an 85-15 or 60-40 or I don't know, maybe just splitting hairs, but I think it would be very interesting to see what the results would be.
Yeah, we can play around with that. With this for today's bit, I wanted to get two wines,
Yep.
from that similar area. The bank,
Yeah.
talking left bank, right?
Yep.
Um, that almost, are balanced equally, just about. Once
Yep.
again, the Baron Rothschild is the what did we have? 55, yeah, 55 Sauvignon Blanc, and
Yep.
then 45 for the Semillon, and then this last one, the Du Bordeaux
Yep.
is that was 50-50 Sauvignon Blanc Semillon.
Yep.
Um,
Okay.
summer wines,
So here's
folks.
my
These
fun.
are white wines,
It's
summer wine.
summer wine, very light body, easy drinking. Again, this one's a little off balance for me, but I still think it's okay. It's fine. Um, I'm gonna do one little more taste test, and I got some string cheese, which we know is not the most high quality cheese,
Yeah,
but
okay.
maybe
All right.
maybe these two compared, together might work. Why not? All right. String cheese is almost like mozzarella. There's not really a lot of flavor to it, but we'll see. Oh, yeah. Nah. I tried. Maybe I can get the
Nope.
Velveeta out of the fridge, right?
I think it's a lost cause, Pete. I think it's a lost cause. But, 50-50 is good,
Yeah. Yeah. I do. This Duperdeau, I very well. That's a very good choice. I like that. And people get frightened of Bordeaux because the prices are so outrageous for reds.
Right.
Um, I I think there's definitely some wine value here. When you are looking for some alternative whites, I know we rattled off a bunch at the beginning. So for people at the beginning, me and Manuel kind of rattled off a bunch of summer wines, and a lot of them are red. Um, so we talked about Verdejo, Vermentino, um, Gruner Veltliner from Austria, Peak Pool, Soave. Um, New Zealand obviously has Sauvignon Blancs. We didn't really talk about Chard too much, but
No, we didn't.
uh,
We're getting away from that a little bit. But the Gruner
yeah,
the Gruner
yeah,
Veltliner, right, as we know, is good with spicy food. To interject that,
true,
good
true.
with Indian food.
Yep. And so is Gewürztraminer from
Okay.
Germany.
Yes.
That's very good with spicy food. So there's a lot of options here, folks. Just to say there's like when Albarino was the other one we kind of missed. I've had some wonderful Albarinos. And I think if you are in search of some light body white wine, you have a lot of choices. And I don't know if Mountain Mom is on here, but we have box wines as well. But
Yeah.
and you can make some sangria out of some of the reds if you want, and some
Sure.
fruity Beaujolais and stuff like that. But really, a lot of them are whites. And but again, I think that Rothschild would probably go better if it was a little warmer. So
I would
this is.
agree with that. I would agree with that 100%.
Mhm. Mm. I see Gabrielle said, yeah, it's salty on my string cheese. Well, not this string cheese. It's not. This is the stuff I give to the dogs, but it's
Okay. Huh.
not that good. It's just, it's poor quality at best. But I mean, definitely with this cheddar, this is really nice. I'm going to have a lot more of this tonight, but unfortunately, I don't have I don't have a entree lined up with this one tonight because it mismatched off my meal plans this week. But we're gonna do some. It's kind of leftover night, so everything must go out of the fridge.
Oh yeah,
So it's gonna be
smorgasbord.
yeah. I think actually do have some fresh cut lettuce from my garden that I'm gonna make a salad with, and
No, there you go.
maybe
Very nice.
maybe the acidity of the salad dressing. Well, it's actually the salad dressing is kind of a maple balsamic. It's kind of a sweet. So we'll see how that goes. Sweet with this. Um, and then I think we have some leftover chicken or duck or something like that. So
Okay.
we'll have a lot of options to try from. So
put something together. Put something together.
yeah, yeah. And do we have any questions out there that I missed? I don't know if we did. No questions.
No, we
Market
were
chatter?
very no, we were all encompassing over here. We
Yeah, I think we covered. I think we
very
covered a
good.
lot of ground here. I mean, we covered all these whites. What? So just for my notes, folks, Sauvignon Blanc has kind of a gooseberry, honeydew, grapefruit, peach kind of
Sometimes
aroma.
grassy, a little grassy.
Yeah. Yep. Has a very light body, high acidity. Has more of a lemon wax, which we both smelled in both wines. Peach, chamomile, um, medium body, medium acidity. So when you have a blend like this, they actually kind of balance each other out. But I think the Rothschild didn't balance itself out as they intended, which is fine. And it's okay. They still make great wine. I'm not going to bash them. They're doing better than I am. So I think I think Emmanuel came up to a consensus. The liaison from Du Bordeaux, from Bassac, east of Sauternes.
Yeah.
Very well made, very well balanced. The acidity is not off-putting. Going to make a wonderful summer wine for you. So, and is there anything you want to wrap up with before we move on, or?
No, I mean, I thought you were gonna like the second one, Pete. You know, from the
Yep.
Du Bordeaux, from that vineyard, and that gentleman is highly regarded, is respected in the wine industry. You know, he was a professor, like I said, to recap it, professor at Bordeaux University. He's done a lot of consultants for, you know, he's been a heavy hitter in the industry. So that I want to kind of match the two, you know. Now Rothschild, the Baron Rothschild, they're more known for the red Bordeaux's, but the family of the de Pardieu are known for their white wine. They actually came along with some other techniques. The family came along with bottling techniques, new bottling techniques.
Right.
You know, the terroir over there, where they were located, on that left bank there, the Bordeaux. I wish we could put up a map, you know, for those people with geography. They're a little they need a little help with. But
they need a visual. The problem is my map wouldn't it wouldn't translate well. They would probably be like, "What the hell?" This would be backwards.
Right. I'm right. Well,
well, next time I'll have to do a backwards France map. No, I think you. I think you wanted to chat about that book you read, "The Billionaire's Vinegar," which I read.
Oh yeah,
which was a great book.
Absolutely.
Yep. So if you want to chat, I think you wanted to put a particular item in there, but for just to let you know, there's a book out there called "Billionaire's Vinegar." It's really yeah, there you go. It's really kind of a nice novel. I don't know if it's a more fiction, nonfiction, but it's really around the story of kind of like, you know, they found these Thomas Jefferson Bordeaux's that he had from 1787, and you know there was a rush to auction them off, and there was a lot of controversy about the authenticity of these bottles, and you know, like, would you ever break it open? Would you ever drink it? Was it really good? Could it be vinegar by the time you even touched it? But there's a lot of really good stuff in that book. I loved it. So I know, yeah, Gabrielle has a nice recommendation there.
Yeah, I see that.
Well, I know Rydell, I think, is featured in that book a lot because Rydell was kind of really, I think, coming about way back then about with his different shapes of his wine glasses. So,
No, I know
but
there's
anyway,
glasses.
I got off. I got on my
Well,
soapbox again. You know how I am. So go ahead.
all right, so I I actually haven't, because the way I look at it, it's sort of a it's documenting, that time in history, but it does go. It's more of documented historical piece of work, in a way.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what he researched through. I actually haven't read the whole thing yet. I read bits and pieces of it. Because I think it's not a novel, obviously, so you can kind of delve into it in different areas.
Yeah.
But the reason why I wanted to spotlight it, if those who are, we're talking about France here, we're talking about French whites. Obviously, the focus in the book primarily is on reds. We're talking Bordeaux.
Red. Yeah. Yep.
That they had the auction in London at Sotheby's, where supposedly that Thomas Jefferson, which was from the Lafite Rothschild family, an offshoot
That's right.
of the other previous white Bordeaux that we had, the Baron Lafite Rothschild. So that family is synonymous, with expensive Bordeaux.
That's
So,
right.
so
Well,
I think
Thomas
for
Jefferson
anyone,
was a big fan of them. He was a big fan of Lafite Rothschild. He really was. So
he was one of their main, he was a big purchaser of those wines. He traveled through France, and the book does a good job illustrating, where he travels and the wines that he, because he was very meticulous, Jefferson, about the wines that he drank and the wines that he purchased, the areas that he traveled in France. So that for any history buff or anyone who loves wine, I'll be honest, and people might frown upon this. I'm not a big French red wine drinker. I'm not. It's not my style per se. I think everyone has a style.
yep.
I go more with Spanish reds. That's kind of where I'm at, and I'm real comfortable there. But I understand. In the French, you need to understand the families that were involved in the. We're talking, like we said, the 1858 classification here of the first growth of red wines. That it's just part of history. So anyone who likes history or studies
I think
wine.
well, wine history is very interesting. I think
For sure.
Wine has just been around for thousands and thousands of years. I think
the Romans
really
were the first ones to get people involved in wine drinking for the most part.
Yeah, and I think just the Romans, and obviously the Romans were wide. I mean, they held huge territories of the world. I mean, at one given point, they almost think they owned. I mean, in terms of the civilized world, they really were conquerors of pretty much most of it at one point in time. And then obviously you got Italy and France that, obviously the remnants of the Roman Empire, and the French obviously really kind of ran with it. And they, I think a lot of people like to bash the French because sometimes they don't want to be, they're a little slow to innovate but I think everybody plays off of them. And I think the reason why America is so really good in wine is because they kind of use France as sort of that foil. Like, hey, our American wines are just as good as the French. And in the 70s, when they had that big contest. So it's like, and I think Italy has a little bit of a chip on the shoulder, which rightly so, but their wine are tremendous. The Spanish are, right next to them. So it's like, but now there's a lot more great wine being created. But when you think about 1855, who was making great wine at that point? Really, not too many people in this world.
Right.
If I'm not again, I'm sort of a history buff, but I sometimes I can speak out of my butt about certain things. But I definitely know in 1855, America wasn't on the map. Australia wasn't on the map. New Zealand wasn't on the map. Austria wasn't on the map. China, which Rothschild has actually started some growing in China. Again, not on the map. So you really only had a few really areas of wine growing going on in the world.
Exactly.
And of course, so I think that 1855 thing is interesting for those history buffs. I think you would love that. And the Thomas Jefferson book, The Billionaires, I read the whole book. I read it a few times, and I really enjoyed it. I think one of the characters in that book has just recently died last week. I think Broadbent. I think
Oh,
he's either
Broadbent.
with. Yeah, he's in that book. He
Yeah.
actually just passed away. I think last week.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
Yep, I think I read that. I immediately picked up on the name, and I'm like, oh, okay, I think he was in that book. So definitely
for
you
sure.
enjoy. Finish the rest of that book. You're gonna love it. And I'm gonna have to pick up the book that Gabrielle just recommended as well.
Well, yeah,
Um,
no, Gabrielle's a ferocious reader. She always has been. But for me, the book was entertaining because there's a little bit of there's a lot of anecdotes in it. You know, there's a lot of the story. There's a storyline is interesting. So I think many
yep.
different people. You don't necessarily have to be just. It helps if you're a wine enthusiast or a wine admirer. But someone who likes a
Yep.
good read would definitely get into that book. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think from there's a couple angles on that. So you have
for sure.
Thomas Jefferson, right? So
Yeah,
he was one of our earliest presidents. Again, the Declaration of Independence. He was one of the founders there.
he's the architect. Yeah,
Founding fathers. He was a known. He wasn't known to be paying his bills really on time. Again, he was a wine guy. One of our first representatives in France as part of our new government. So Thomas Jefferson is a very interesting historical figure.
absolutely,
Never mind the
absolutely.
wine.
Right, just for
And
that alone.
obviously,
Just for that alone, for
just for
the travel that he
yeah,
does to France.
yeah, oh yeah, Louisiana Purchase and all the things he did when he was
Sure.
president. But the thing is, before he was president and after he was president, he did so many other wonderful things. Um, and then there's this little piece, like he was an avid wine guy. And a lot of people, maybe a lot of people don't know that, but or how deep it was for him. But he definitely had a lot of wine shipped back from France to America when he moved back to America after he was done serving the country. So
Oh, that's
definitely a
absolutely
lot.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, he had a steady diet. He had a steady diet of some interesting fine wines, French wines. He made a lot of
I,
partnerships too on his travel. He made a lot of partnerships with these.
sure. I don't know. I
You
don't know
know,
if he paid for all those, but or he ever ended up ever paying for those. But sorry. That's a little side joke. But
right,
anyway,
right.
I know. Yeah. Anyway, again, there's a lot of criticisms of these historical figures, obviously in the lens of 2020. But back in his day, he was a pretty formidable person, and I think he did a lot for this country. So, but anyway,
For sure.
so I'm
Agreed.
going to wrap this up. I think we talked a lot. I love the historical thing to it. I love this Rothschild. There's a lot of history with the Rothschilds. Same thing with the de Bordeaux and obviously Bordeaux. Um, so just to wrap it up, folks, we just talked about summer white wines. We talked about all the various white wines out there that you can be drinking in the summer. Very light in body. Some have some high acidity. Some have low acidity. And we talked about these particular wines. The Du Bordeaux obviously won me and Emmanuel over.
Oh,
They're
absolutely.
mostly a 50, yep, they're 50-50 blend. I'm going to show that label again. Yep, there we go. That's a gorgeous label. This was made by the son of Denis Depardieu, who unfortunately passed away about 4 years ago. His name is Jean-Jacques, and it's $17.99 at Total Wine. And obviously Emmanuel works there, and obviously I'd love to have you guys go down and visit Emmanuel. He can talk to you more about these wines, and obviously happy to show you where they are and take it over from there. But Emmanuel, do you want to wrap it up from there?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like I said, I think we're gonna focus as for our next time. Focus on some other whites. I'm not sure yet. I think I'll surprise you again. I'm glad I'm glad you like one of these wines. You seem to like at least you liked it quite a bit.
Yep, the D Bordeaux, yeah.
Yes, the Deep Bordeaux. Excuse me. So that's what we're gonna focus on. I think for the I don't know
Yep,
for the remainder of the summer.
that's good.
And let's see what else. Like I said, the book. We mixed it up today. This book here, because it's all about literacy, people. Okay,
Yep.
so that book is, you got more time on your hands.
Yep. Billionaires. Yep.
Pick
Exactly.
that book up. It's a good read. Very interesting. A lot of discussion about the auction that took place of that particular. It was the 1787 Lafitte Rothschild, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. So it's got intrigue. It's a charming little book. So here Pete and I also just don't talk about wines. We talk about things that other things that might interest you.
Exactly. So everyone, enjoy your weekend. Eat, drink, savor.
Very good. Have a good evening.
Bye now.
All right.
Bye
Pete,
now.
take care. See you in a couple
Take care
weeks.
now. Yep.